over in Rome, so forgive me that we had to cut out for a few minutes, as obviously I had to get the internet back up and running. So we are back on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and on Twitter X. So wonderful to be with you. We're going to get right back to your fantasy football questions. Forgive the tech issue, but obviously when you're overseas, you got to battle some Wi-Fi issues. The connection was gone. Did the best we can. We're going to get right back into the questions. So sorry that I lost your questions there for a moment, but we're right back into it. Tillin, let's get back into it. What would you make the trade? Tyreek and Etienne, Mason and Kirk. I'd rather have the Mason and Kirk side on that one. Monique, Pitt 2, Jennings, Debo, Dell, or Leggett. I don't want to double up on the 49ers offense, so I'm probably leaning Debo and Dell. Don't really like Leggett's matchup this week, so I'm going to go Debo and Dell. Angel the second, Bowers or McBride? McBride, now that we know he's cleared on the injury report, it's going to be McBride. Low, Purdy or Darnold? Purdy. Darnold has a bad matchup. JP, will you be live tomorrow morning? I'm not going to be live Saturday. I will be live Sunday morning. Sunday morning I will be live. Saturday morning I won't be live. That's why we're putting out college football picks for tomorrow today. So Saturday's college football picks are going to be coming in this show. Let's actually throw one up on the board to say thank you guys. Tip the hat to Jennifer. Howdy to you. Let's throw a college football pick on the board for tomorrow to get you guys ready for that. Since I cut out, want to say thank you. Get another pick up on the board. Here's a Saturday college football pick for you. Army on the money line, everybody. Army on the money line. Really high on that. I will take Tulsa plus 14.5. So Army money line, Tulsa plus 14.5. I'll give you one more. I'm taking Boston College at plus 3.5. So far, we have seven college football picks between tonight and tomorrow up on our big board. Let's recap. I have TCU minus 13.5. TCU minus 13.5. I have Houston TCU under 53.5. Houston TCU under 53.5. We have UNLV on the money line. UNLV on the money line. We have Oregon minus 19.5. Oregon minus 19.5. And for tomorrow, Army on the money line. Army on the money line. Tulsa plus 14.5. Tulsa plus 14.5. And Boston College. Boston College plus 3.5. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. We're going to get right back to your fantasy questions now. Ajax, Kirk, or Wicks? I'm going to go Christian Kirk on this one, actually, just barely. Taco Bell, Dalton, Murray, or Flacco. If Flacco plays, he'd be the one. If Flacco doesn't play, it's Murray. I don't like Andy Dalton. Between Flacco and Murray, I actually like Flacco more if he plays, but I get the vibe Anthony Richardson's actually going to be in the starting lineup. Mason, pick one. BTJ. I love Brian Thomas Jr. this week. He's a must start for me. That's the player I would definitely go with. Nami Harady. Would you trade off Achane and Addison for Walker III and Kirk? Honestly, I don't really know how I feel about this one. Probably I like the Walker III and Kirk side. I feel like it's a pretty fair trade. I don't really love either side of it. I think I lean towards Walker III and Kirk, but it's kind of like in between. Michael, BTJ. Michael, go BTJ, buddy. Appreciate the question. Story time. Trade away Kyron and Charbonnet for Walker and Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you feel like you need to upgrade at the wide receiver position, this is actually a good trade. Fulcrum, would you trade Pitts for McBride? Probably, as long as the injury history with McBride doesn't worry you. Kyle Pitts over the next few weeks plays Carolina, Seattle, two good pass defenses. Then he plays Tampa Bay again before playing Dallas, the Saints, and the Broncos. So over the next 5 weeks, I only think there's 1 or maybe 2 weeks of real value. I think I'd rather have McBride. IP Shade 45 just showed us some love, so we're going to do the same for you. We're going to give out more MLB picks. We're going to give out 2 more MLB picks to say thank you for IP Shade 45, throwing some confetti in the air. So let's give out some MLB picks for tomorrow, everybody. More playoff picks. I am taking Yankees on the money line. Yankees on the money line. Garrett Cole on the mound. I feel very good about him in what should be a really important start for his Yankee career. I'm also, why? Because he doesn't have a great playoff history actually with the Yanks. Yankees on the money line. I will also take the under. Yankees and Royals, I am going to take the under 8.5. So far we've put 4 MLB picks on the board. Phillies on the money line, Yankees on the money line, Royals and Yankees under 8.5, and we have a player prop bet on the board, Jose Iglesias over half a hit. Let's give you another MLB player prop bet. I like Juan Soto over half a hit, making his Yankee playoff debut. I think Juan Soto gets a hit. I believe he's 2 for 6 against, I think it's 2 for 5 rather, against Michael Wacha in his career. Good enough numbers, but Juan Soto over half a hit tomorrow's another one. Zioli, Hunt over Mostert. I don't think Mostert's got a lot of value right now, so I'm definitely leaning towards Hunt. Cody Meyerson was trading Ford and Lazard for Devontae, a good move. Yes, it was, Cody. With Nick Chubb coming back, it negatively impacts Ford's value. Hi, I'm Toby. Sermon, Tracy, or Ford. I'm going to go Sermon on that one just barely. Very close, but I'll go Trey Sermon. Aiden Thompson, I'd go Robinson and Sermon. Robinson and Sermon, Aiden Thompson. Eric Anderson, I would pick up Fields. Eric Anderson, I'd go with Fields this week. Mr. Plow, I'm leaning DJ Moore very close, but I'm leaning DJ Moore as that wide receiver 1. I prefer that over Wicks. We don't even know where he falls on the depth chart. Brent, flex, I'm leaning towards Brian Robinson Jr., Brent. Brian Robinson Jr. is the play for me. Appreciate the questions. Carter, start Ayuk or Wicks? Great question. And again, I think I'm leaning towards the wide receiver 1 on this. I know Wicks could have a good game, but the Arizona Cardinals pass defense, it's not that good. I think Ayuk's the better play. David C., Wilson or Wicks? I'm going Garrett Wilson against the Vikings. Jacob, Pittman, McLaurin, I'm going Pittman. The matchup against the Jaguars is so favorable. Jacob, I'd go Pittman over McLaurin. CJ Young, would you trade Debo, Fields, and Eckler for Jaden Daniels and McLaurin? I don't love the stacking, but I actually don't have a massive problem with it. Debo and Fields, I think Debo's value is there most of the year. Fields, I don't know. He's looking like a really good fantasy own right now, but once he hits some tougher competition against the run, that might change. So I like this trade, CJ Young. I'd probably make the move. Do I love the stacking? No, but I'm okay with it given it's Daniels and McLaurin. Yo boy Alex, which 2 running backs? Etienne and Jones. Etienne and Jones, it's not close for me. Fotana, I'm leaning Etienne as well. Fotana, I'd go Etienne. Chris, Zamir White, now out, sir. Okay, Chris, thanks for the heads up. Hunter, thanks for throwing some confetti in the air. Let's give out some more college football picks, everybody. More college football picks because we got some more confetti in the air. We're going to give out picks for tomorrow's games. Some more college football picks for Saturday's action. Let's get back to the big board and show you that. Next pick we're putting up on the board is going to be NC State on the money line. NC State on the money line. Here's another one. Pitt on the money line. So we have 5 picks now on the board for Saturday's college football games. Army on the money line. Tulsa plus 14.5. Boston College plus 3.5. NC State on the money line and Pitt on the money line. 5 college football plays for you. You want a 6th? Let's go. I'm going to my alma mater 2 times over. I went there undergrad. I went there for graduate school. It's not what's impacting my play. It's their head coach, Cignetti. I'm going with Indiana on the money line of everybody. Indiana going to Northwestern. I think Indiana gets the win. By the way, I know there's some spreads on this game, and I'm giving you a money line play. Throw some parlays together. We have 4 money line plays on the board right now. Army on the money line, NC State on the money line, Pitt on the money line, and Indiana on the money line. You can put those together in some round-robin parlays. I think you're going to come out ahead. Money 88, Olave or Diggs? I lean towards Olave. If you want to take Diggs in the revenge game against Buffalo, I get it. But Olave's matchup is more favorable. Billy, I'd go Fields over Murray. Fields over Murray. Anthony, thoughts on Kupp for Amari Cooper and Hunt? I think I'd rather have Cooper and Hunt because I'm probably leaning into Hunt's value rest of season with Pacheco being questionable at least for the next 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So, Anthony, I think you won the trade. Will you win it come postseason time? That might be the question. But we got to get to the playoffs. So, Anthony, I actually like the deal now. Teddy, Tracy or Chase Brown, full PPR? It's going to be Tracy. It's going to be Tracy is the better play for the moment. Tillin, will Mason lose value in the fantasy playoffs? Only if Christian McCaffrey comes back, and my hope for that It's kind of dwindling by the day. I'm not super high on Christian McCaffrey coming back and being the McCaffrey of old. So if he does, you do lose some value, but I'm not really concerned right now because I think Mason's value has really solidified itself over the last few weeks. I feel very good about him. And even when McCaffrey comes back, maybe as a means of trying to preserve him for the playoffs, they're going to play Mason just as much or at a decent rate. Pick one, Higgins, Worthy, Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have a monster game. HT Cool, I'd go Sermon. HT Cool, I'd go Sermon. Ada E, Diggs or Najee? Great question. Najee's got the better matchup. I really don't like starting Najee. He burned me last week, but he did just enough. Jalen Warren's been ruled out. I'm going to go Najee. If you go Diggs, I get it in the revenge game, but Najee's got the better matchup. My advice has to reflect the data instead of just the gut. Happy hour, trade Aubrey for Irving and the Commanders defense. Commanders kicker. I actually kind of like this. Washington's kicking a ton of field goals. They're scoring a lot of points. Brandon Aubrey, we know he's good, but at the same time, it's a 2-for-1 and you get a running back. I actually like the deal, Happy Hour. I think it's a really smart move. Taron, Brian Thomas Jr. for Zay and Tank Dell. I'm not doing it right now. Brian Thomas Jr.'s value is there for me. Tank Dell is a wide receiver 3 in a loaded offense. Zay Flowers is the #1 wide receiver on a team that loves to run the ball. Brian Thomas Jr., I think, is the better player in this deal, and I don't really want to give him up right now. Lil J, trade value for Devontae Adams. If you're going to get Devontae Adams, get him now. Obviously, I'm being a bit cautious about making that move, but get him now. He is out this week, so owners might be more willing to trade him now. I expect he won't be a Las Vegas Raider for too long, so acquire Devontae Adams now if you can. Austin, McBride or Komet? McBride. McBride would be the play for me. Crystal, Eckler or Hunt? Hunt. I don't think Eckler's got a lot of value, especially with Brian Robinson Jr. performing as well as he is. Pookie, what's up? Let me up. What's up? King Cobra, Murray or Daniels? I'd go Jaden Daniels just barely. I don't like the matchup for Kyler Murray. Tony Flores, I'd go Wicks. Tony Flores, I'd go with Wicks. Hi, I'm Toby, Brian Thomas Jr., buddy. Hi, I'm Tommy, Brian Thomas Jr. Shonk 13, I'd go Tutu Atwell. Shonk 13, Tutu Atwell. C.J. Young, I'd go Atwell. If Brian Robinson is out, you can go Eckler, but I'm not crazy about... I might lean towards Waddle. I know some people are trying to sell me on Eckler with Brian Robinson being in a questionable status. Washington Commanders right now, checking the injury report on the Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr. did not participate today. It's a knee injury and it's questionable. Austin Eckler was a full participant. Okay, you can talk me into Austin Eckler this week. I don't like people who are talking about trading for him, but you can talk me into Austin Eckler for this week, CJ. Michaela Petro, pick 2. Sermon. I'm going Sermon and Johnson. No. Michaela, I'll go Sermon and Stevenson. Do I feel gut conviction about it? I don't, but I'll go Sermon and Stevenson. Lanny 1, I'd go Etienne. John, great to see you. Trade Cook, Kincaid, Bucky for Bowers and Achane. Don't do it, John. I'd rather have the Cook, Kincaid, and Bucky side, and it's not close. I think Kincaid will outscore Bowers rest of season. I think James Cook will outscore Achane rest of season. And it's Bucky thrown in. I'd rather have Cook, Kincaid, and Bucky Irving, and I feel very strongly about that. Anthony, Hunt or Akers, go with one of them. Yikes. Okay, so the Saints are a pretty good run defense so far this year. Akers and the Houston Texans are going up against Buffalo. Buffalo, worse in the run defense, so I'm going to lean, by the way, by a wide margin. Buffalo's the 3rd worst run defense in the league. Did you know that? Buffalo's the 3rd worst run defense in the league. It's got to be Cam Akers on that one. Cam Akers. Pookie, can I come up as a guest? If I was taking guests right now as callers, you'd know it. Right now, I'm not doing it, so no. Carter Peel. And the reason for that, I'm trying to get in as many questions as possible. We're able to speed through more people's questions. When we take callers, it takes time for each person. It's 11:40 at night here in Rome, and I want to try to get to as many questions as possible. So we're not taking callers right now. No. Carter Peel, Steelers defense, Bears defense. Really good question. Chicago going up against Carolina this week. I think Carolina does come back down to earth. I also think the Steelers are going to bounce back from a miserable performance last week. That said, I'm going to go Bears. Carter Peel, I'll go Bears over Steelers just barely. Bears over Steelers just barely. Chan the man, what running back can I get for Diggs? Open-ended question. We don't like to spend a lot of time on open-ended questions. Go look at some teams that could use a wide receiver, see what running backs they have, then come back to us and ask the question that way. Luca, rewrite that question, buddy. I can't understand what you're asking about. Nolan, Justice Hill or Antonio Gibson? Really good question. For the moment, thanks, Rick. I'll put up some more picks in a moment, Rick. More picks coming in a moment. For the moment, between Justice Hill and Antonio Gibson, I'm leaning towards Justice Hill. The Bengals are a bad run defense, really bad. Miami, kind of mid. I lean Justice Hill, and what I like about him is they use him in the passing game, so I lean Hill just barely. Rivera, are we trusting Tyreek Hill this week? No, I'm not. Christian Gonzalez is a legit top 5 shutdown corner in this league. You look at the wide receivers he's gone against and the numbers they've put up. Christian Gonzalez, and he's played against Tyreek Hill previously in his career and was successful. I'm not taking Tyreek Hill this week. Just like last week, I'm going to tell you guys to sit him. It sounds crazy. It worked last week. I think, again, he's going to underperform. P. Asha, forced to play Flowers and Higgins. Do you think they are good starts? I really like Higgins this week. Not as high on Flowers, but I really like Higgins. Jude, Khalil Shakir of the Buffalo Bills is out. I would play Josh Downs. Jude, I play Downs. Josh Downs would be the play for me. Appreciate the questions. Let's get back to them over on TikTok. Start DJ Moore or Pittman. I'm leaning towards Pittman. I like the matchup against Jacksonville so much that I lean towards Michael Pittman. Jude, I'd go Downs. Just answer that, I'd go Downs. Xander Simmons, I'd go Kincaid. Xander Simmons, I'd go Kincaid. Thomas, Diggs or Robinson, I'd go Diggs. In that matchup, I'd go Diggs over Robinson. John DeMonte, I'd go Richardson. If Anthony Richardson's good enough to play, Richardson's going to be my start. Darnold has a terrible matchup against the Jets. We have to give out another, we're going to give out more picks, everybody. We're going to give out 2 more MLB picks for everybody. 2 more MLB picks to say thank you to Rick for giving us the live goal confetti. So we're going back to MLB World. We're taking the Padres. Padres plus 1.5. Padres to cover plus 1.5. Also in that Padres and Dodgers game, I'm going to take the under. Padres and Dodgers, Dylan Cease on the mound. I'm going to go under 8.5, just like I did for Royals and Yankees. So we have 5 MLB game picks and 2 MLB player prop bets on the big board. Let's recap them. Phillies on the money line. Phillies on the money line. Yankees on the money line. Yankees on the money line. Royals and Yankees under 8.5. Royals and Yankees under 8.5. Padres plus 1.5. Padres plus 1.5. Padres Dodgers under 8.5. Padres Dodgers under 8.5. And then 2 MLB player prop bets. Jose Iglesias over half a hit. Juan Soto over half a hit. I'll actually give you one more. We have Jose Iglesias. We have Juan Soto. One more with J. I'm going Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez has phenomenal numbers against the starting pitcher he'll be facing tomorrow. Jose Ramirez over half a hit. So we've got 3 player prop bets on the big board, 5 MLB game picks. We have 6 college football picks for tomorrow, and we have 4 college football picks for tonight. Don't tell me we don't give out picks during the show, because you can tell we're working it thanks to your support. We'll give out more with more confetti and more subscribers. Cameron traded St. Brown and Connor for Collins and Brian Robinson. I like the trade because Collins is performing at a wide receiver 1 level. Cameron, I like it. Esteban trade Downs for Eckler. Look, I understand that Eckler might have the value this week. If Brian Robinson Jr.'s injury is somehow going to be long-term, then maybe I'd consider it. But right now, I think Josh Downs is starting to come on strong. User 5484, doesn't think we know anything. Okay, then you can swipe on. What's funny to me is when someone criticizes, just swipe. Just be a guy. By the way, 8 followers. You have 8 followers. You're following 31 people. Yeah, I'm really listening to you, buddy. That's what I'm doing with my time. Okay, getting back to your questions. Barack, start 1. I'd start Wicks. Barack, I'd start Wicks. Worthy or Tyreek Hill? It's Xavier Worthy for me. By the way, if you think that commenter was wrong, hit the like button. If you love our content, if you love our conversation, if you think I know more than nothing, hit that like button and let us know that you support Butt Fumble Sports. We appreciate those that are loyal to the channel. So if you love the content, you love the conversation, and you're a Butt Fumble supporter, hit that like button and let the haters know that we don't give a shit. Butt Fumble Sports, we don't give a number 2 about haters. Just so you know. Lucas, Hunter, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, that's definitely where I come out. Appreciate the questions. Let's get to money, $88.99. I'd go, would I trade Flowers for Higgins? I would. I actually lean towards that way because I think the Bengals offense is going to be more prolific than the Ravens passing offense. Kadri, Amari Cooper, or McLaurin? I'd go Amari Cooper for this week. Peter, Tucker, or Kraft? Really tough one for me. I'm leaning towards Kraft just barely, though it's very close. Appreciate you hitting that like button now. Hit the share button. Let other friends of yours know that Butt Fumble Sports is out there if you think they could use some fantasy football advice or they would enjoy our content. Megan Feeling, Worthy, Amari, or Jennings? I'm going to go Amari Cooper. Man, that's close. I lean towards Amari Cooper just barely. It's very close for me. Commanders and Chiefs are literally giving up right around the same number of the Saints and the Commanders are giving up a similar number of yards. I like Worthy, but I think I like Amari Cooper just a little bit more, Megan. Gus, start 3. Hunt, Etienne, Jacobs, Robinson, or Worthy. Because Brian Robinson is listed as out for, he's not listed as out, but he didn't practice today, and I have some concerns about him playing. Gus, it's Etienne, Jacobs, and Worthy. If Brian Robinson plays, I'd probably move him in. But as of right now, it would be Etienne, Jacobs, and Worthy. Etienne, Jacobs, and Worthy. Himothy, trade Garrett and Travis Etienne for Kyron and Neighbors. The answer is yes. I think I like Kyron more rest of season than Etienne. Neighbors and Garrett Wilson. I think Wilson probably outscores Neighbors rest of season, but not by a wide enough margin. I think I like the Kyron and Neighbors side. Very fair trade, though, for now. Jude, should I drop Rashad White, Andrews, or Shakir? I need to add downs. I would drop Mark Andrews. Deep XKJ, I'm not sure if I want to start the Ravens since I have Burrow, so Packers, Commanders, or Patriots for defense. Kind of an interesting question here. Packers could give up some yards. I understand that they're going up against a depleted Rams team, but Matthew Stafford slings the ball around quite a bit. Commanders defense going up against a Browns team that's just not good offensively. There might be some reason to believe in that. Patriots defense I just don't like. I'm going to lean for the moment towards the Commanders, I think. Just barely over the Patriots. It's close. I don't like the Packers that much, though. Aiden Thompson, were you able to watch the game last night? I actually did because I'm a freak. I woke up at about 4:35 in the morning so I could watch the end of the Met game because I wanted to see what was going to happen. I know I'm in Rome. I know I'm meeting the Pope. I know I'm doing all these things here. But I still got to watch my sports overseas. New DK, Vikings or Packers defense? I'm going to lean just slightly, I think, towards the Vikings defense. Do I love the matchup? No. But I think the Vikings defense is a little bit better. Blade, Bonesy, start 2. It would be Etienne and Sermon. Blade, Bonesy, Etienne and Sermon would be the 2. Appreciate the question. Story time. He wants Kyron and Adunze for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Walker. You're getting Amon-Ra and Walker. I like the deal. Kill 'em Johnny, start 2. I'd go Kirk and Diggs. Kill 'em Johnny. Kirk is the matchup. Diggs because the revenge game. I think I like it. Jude, pick 2. If Brian Robinson Jr. is out, I'd go Eckler. And I'm going to go Akers. That Bills run defense is way worse than I expected. Looking at the numbers, it's Akers and Eckler if Brian Robinson Jr. doesn't play for Washington. Rich AF, Pick 2, bro. Sermon, Achan, or Hunt? Great question. I'm going to go Sermon, and I'm going to go Hunt. The Patriots' run defense is better than people think. I know the Saints are slightly better by a few yards, but I'd actually rather play Hunt because I think he can find his way into the end zone. Now that there's no Rashee Rice, they're going to try and run the ball more, I think, in the red zone, kind of like how they did with Pacheco. I like Hunt and Sermon. I think that's where I'd go. Dixie, Christian Kirk, or Wan'Dale Robinson? Christian Kirk. Dixie, Christian Kirk. JMNDZA. Trade Adams for Montgomery? Yes, I'm okay with that one. Matt, start one. Matt, I'm going DeMarcus Robinson. He's got the best matchup. I'd go DeMarcus Robinson, Matt. Beamer, Waddle, or Sermon? I'm going to go Sermon, just barely. Patriots' pass defense is not good, and they're not good in the second wide on the second wide receiver. So Waddle could have a good game. I just don't trust the quarterback. And with Trey Sermon truly getting that RB1 spot, he's going to get a lot of carries. I'll lean Sermon over Waddle. Not a strong conviction, but that's where I come out. Nuve DK, trade Waddle and Singletary for Bucky or Bucky for Chase. I trade Waddle and Singletary for Chase. Yep, Waddle and Singletary for Jamar Chase. Deep XKJ. I was stuck between Commanders and Patriots because the Dolphins seem to have no run game, and I think Gonzalez can lock down any wide receiver. I agree with you, but the reason I'm not taking the Patriots, like you can, I think Gonzalez could shut down Tyreek Hill. My concern is Waddle. My concern, if you want to go with the Patriots defense, I'm okay with it, but other than Christian Gonzalez, they're really depleted. I just don't feel great about it. I don't really have a strong conviction either way. It's J3T, Komet or Mark Andrews this week. I'd go Komet. Carolina N, Flex, Tutu, Tracy, or Wilson. I'm leaning towards Tutu Atwell, I think, just barely. Carolina, I lean towards Tutu Atwell. I know Tracy's going to get more carries, but the Seahawks run defense, I take it back. I'll go with Tracy. He'll get enough opportunities. Carolina N, I go Tracy just barely over Atwell. Flappo, I'd go Tracy over Coleman. Fotana, Prescott or Stafford? I actually go Matthew Stafford. Packers pass defense, bottom 10 in the league. I'm gonna go with Matthew Stafford. Deep XKJ, I'm sorry, I'm on the fence. I actually wish there were other defenses you could go after. I just don't have any confidence. That's what it really is. I say the Commanders, but I'm not high. Part of that has to go with the offensive line being hurt for the Browns. Let's actually check on that game. Let's check the injury report for that one. Patriots and Dolphins. It's the game we're looking at for the injury report to make sure it all lines up. Or sorry, we're going to check the Browns game. But by the way, here are the Patriots that are out. While I'm on it, the Patriots, Kyle Duggar did not practice today. Jonathan Jones, limited. Anthony Jennings, limited. Marcus Jones, limited. Marte Matu, limited. Jabril Peppers, limited. There's a lot of Patriots defensive players that are questionable. I'm really nervous about them. That's part of the reason I'm just not quite there when it comes to the Patriots defense. Now, looking at the Browns offensive line, because that's what you care about in your Commanders play, is how the Browns offensive line is looking. As of right now, Jack Conklin, limited. He's questionable with that hamstring, but there is a chance that he's going to play. Jedrick Willis is questionable with a knee, so there's still some players there. I'm just kind of watching that Browns offensive line. That's why I'm on the fence. Jack, Dak, or Geno? I'd go Geno Smith. Deep, the Jets and the Bears are all... I'd go Bears defense. Oh my God, I'd absolutely go Bears defense against Carolina. Bears deep. That's the one I'd go with. Jack, pick 3. Jack, I'd go Brian Thomas Jr., Garrett Wilson, and Worthy. Brian Thomas Jr., Garrett Wilson, and Worthy. Jamie just resubscribed. Let's get some more picks on the board to say thank you to Jamie for being a TikTok subscriber. Jamie, thanks so much for rejoining the community. Let's give out 3 college football picks right now. How about that? We're going to give out 3 college football picks, everybody. Next college football pick, Wisconsin on the money line. on Wisconsin on the money line. Speaking of that Wisconsin game against Purdue, I'll take Purdue, Wisconsin, under 46.5. So we've got Wisconsin on the money line, Purdue, Wisconsin, under 46.5. Those are for tomorrow's action. Let's go back to tonight's action. Let's get another Friday night pickup on the board. Next one that we're going to be going with is Syracuse, plus 10.5. Syracuse plus 10.5. I think UNLV wins. I think Syracuse keeps it just close enough to make this one an interesting game. So Syracuse plus 10.5, even though I've got UNLV on the money line. Let's go back to tomorrow. Let's go back to Saturday. Another Saturday pick that we really like. Give me Navy on the money line. Told you I liked Army on the money line. I like Navy as well. So could be setting up, by the way, an awesome Army versus Navy game at the end of the year, because those two teams are probably playing better than they have in a long time. But I've got Navy on the money line, Navy on the money line as well. Let's give one more out. Let's give out another pick, because I'm just so grateful for Jamie Dick hitting that subscribe button. One more for you. I'm taking Missouri. Give me Mizzou. Give me Mizzou plus 2.5. They're going in to play Texas A&M. Don't feel great about that one. Mizzou, plus 2.5. I think they cover. I think they probably outright win. I'm not going to make that my big board bet, though. I'll take Mizzou, plus 2.5. I would love to move that. I really want to move that to plus 4.5, but I think they cover the plus 2, so I give that one out. Connor, James, Madison, or Sermon? I go Sermon this week, just barely. Hojo, trade Purdy, Goddard, and Chuba Hubbard for Hurts and DK. Yes, 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 Hojo. Love the trade. Store 3S4. Jordan Love. Start Jordan Love over Josh Allen. Jordan Love's got a great matchup this week against the Rams. Nick, pick 2. Brian Thomas Jr. and Garrett Wilson. Brian Thomas Jr. and Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's matchup against the Vikings is a good one. I'm a little concerned about Aaron Rodgers' health status, but I like the matchup enough where I'm not going to worry about it. It's going to be Wilson and Brian Thomas Jr. I prefer those two. Luis Martinez, Trey Sermon. Luis Martinez, Trey Sermon. Crystal, I'd go Pittman. Crystal, I'd go Pittman. Jamie, start 3. Jamie, thanks so much for subscribing. I'd go Amari Cooper. I'd go Worthy, and I'm going Downs. I know Wicks could be a good play. It's between Downs and Wicks for me. I lean towards Downs just a little bit because the Jacksonville Jaguars pass defense is so bad. The Rams are a little bit better. They've gotten a little bit better from the passing standpoint, pass defense standpoint. So I'm going to go Downs, Amari Cooper. Whoa. Is that Garrett Wilson? If that's Garrett Wilson, I'm changing my mind a little bit. If that's Garrett Wilson, Jamie, I'd go Amari Cooper, Wilson, and Worthy. If that's Garrett Wilson, if it's Michael Wilson, I'd go Downs. But Amari, Wilson, and Worthy would probably be the 3 for me, Jamie. That's where I come out based on the matchups. Thanks for the question. Rhett D. Walker for Brown. Which Brown? Which Brown? A.J. Brown? Which Brown? Which Brown? John B. Drummer. What do you think about right now Zach Charbonnet for PPR this week? If Kenneth Walker III is back, I think he could have a decent game, but I'm not really banking on him for being a really good sub-start. Wise guy, drop Keenan Allen for Wicks. Is it time? My only concern about that is Keenan Allen could have a good game this week, but I think Wicks is the better play. So I'd be willing to go with Wicks over Allen, but I might want to see if I could throw a couple pieces together and get some trade value out of Allen before I move on from him. Patriots season, pick 1, 2 for flex. What? Huh? Patriots? You're confusing the hell out of me. Out of that group, though, I'm leaning for the moment towards Trey Sermon, just barely, if I'm picking just one. Luis Garcia, man, I really want to say Jordan Love. Tough for me to sit Jaden Daniels right now. He's been so hot. Jaden Daniels is probably who I would start, but Jordan Love has the better matchup. That one in which I'm going off of who's the hotter quarterback versus who has the better matchup. Usually, I like to kind of stay with who's been hot. I know the matchup's good for Love. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels just barely. Do I love it? No, but I'm leaning towards Jaden Daniels. Hard for me to sit him right now. Ethan, Darnold, or Geno? Geno. Okay, it's a 2 flex league. I gotcha. So I'd go Sermon and Wicks. No, I'd go Sermon. I'd go Sermon. I'm going to say Sermon and Pickens. Sermon and Pickens would be the two for me, Patriot season. Flappo, I got to pick two. I'd go Eckler and Sermon. Eckler and Sermon. C. J. Young. Should I drop Cleveland or Miami defense for Washington? If so, which one? I would probably drop Miami's defense. I know they're going up against the Patriots, so they could actually have a really good game this week. But if you were going to drop one, it would be Miami for season long. P. Asha, Ingram or Njoku. If Ingram's healthy enough to go, it's Ingram. If Ingram's healthy enough to go, it's Ingram. RWC, Geno, Lawrence, or Dalton. Man, I think this is going to be the Trevor Lawrence game. I actually think this is where Trevor Lawrence has his best game of the year so far. I would lean towards Trevor Lawrence just barely. I know it seems crazy now, but I think you're going to be thanking me on Monday. I need a max, I'd go Garrett Wilson. I need a max, I'd go Garrett Wilson. Nick, trade away Jefferson for Adams and Brooks. I'm 1-3, but shouldn't be 1-3. I don't like the trade. You're trading You're trading to acquire 2 question marks for one sure best player. I wouldn't do it. I actually think you're letting another team get better for their playoff run. Meanwhile, I think that team is trying to sink you. Jay Courts, I'd go Worthy. Jay Courts, Worthy over Shaheed. Your Uncle Ethan, I'm leaning for the moment towards Courtland Sutton. Wide receiver 1 versus a wide receiver 2. And the Denver Broncos are going up against the Raiders. Raiders are not a good pass defense overall. JSN's going up against the Giants. Frankly, I think the Raiders are a little bit worse. I'll take Courtland Sutton. Taron, Brian Thomas 4, Zay Flowers, and Tank Dell. No, I said it earlier. Nope, I wouldn't do the trade. Make sure you're hitting that follow, everybody. Make sure you're hitting that follow button. New DK drop Boswell for Koo. I don't know why. Boswell's been doing pretty well, and that Steelers offense is performing even better as Justin Fields plays even better. Carolina and update Tutu, Trace, or Jalen Tolbert. It's going to be Tracy for me. Tracy's probably the one. It's very close, though. Jonathan, start one between Achan, Madison, or Moss. I'm leaning Madison out of this one. Not crazy about the answer, but overall, Raiders going up against the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos, they played really well against the run last week. I think that's still the play, though. I think that's the one I like the most. It's close, though. Luis, I'd go... Luis, I'm going to go... Najee's got the best matchup. I'm going to lean Najee. I hated Luis. I'm going to lean Najee. Between the tight ends, I'd go McBride. Appreciate you guys following. GDA Miko. I'd go Evans for Bijan. Interesting idea. If you want the running back, I don't hate it, but I think Evans has just been so hot, and Bijan's proven that he just isn't consistent. Not his fault. It's the Falcons' fault overall. Seabass M, Forder, Jacobs, Josh Jacobs, Anita, Akers over Allen, Cam Akers over Keenan Allen, Ed, Singletary, and Jamo for DJ Moore. Yes, I would do the deal. Ismail, choose 2. I would go. I'm gonna go Debo and Wicks. I want to start Diggs in the revenge game, but Wicks' matchup is too good, and I got to start Debo. I feel better about that, I think, than Diggs. Jaden, I'd go Ayuk. Jaden Tatro, I'd go Ayuk. User 3797. I'm going to lean towards Madison just barely. Dean 1135 Purdy. Michaela, go Kelsey. Travis Kelsey should have another good game. Carolina M. I don't think you can drop Algier. Once he's already played, I don't think you can drop him. So if you can, that's who I would drop. But Carolina M, I don't think you can once the week started. And that player has already played. Elijah, Wicks or Downs. We were asked this earlier. I'm really on the fence about this one. I feel like Downs is the safer play. I think Wicks has a higher ceiling. Downs has a higher floor. I like to go with the higher floor because the ceiling is kind of on the hope. A floor is giving you something to lock into. I lean Downs, but do I feel good about that? No, because I think Wicks' ceiling is so high, depending on if Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs play or don't play. Aaron Enrique, I'd go Sutton. William, I'd go Sermon. Damn Dirty Grape, drop a Dunze to pick up and play Sermon. If you got to, you got to. Dunze is not doing enough week to week for me to keep him on the lineup. I think you could probably pick him up in another week. Pete Matt, I'd go Cooper. Pete Matt, I'd go Cooper. Tab Johnson saying, do not sit Diggs. You think it's going to be a really good revenge game. The only reason that I would sit Diggs, one, it's that matchup. You had a couple other players that I liked more. The Buffalo Bills are the 6th best pass defense in the league. I know that the Houston Texans are going to try and force Diggs the ball, especially in the red zone. But the Bills know what the Bills don't want Diggs to have a big game. If you told me that Tank Dell and Nico Collins had big games, but Diggs had a lot of targets, but didn't actually have a lot of production, I could believe that. If you want to start Diggs, I get it. Revenge game plays are always intriguing. Look at Aaron Jones last week. But right now, the matchup against Buffalo is just concerning enough. They're a good pass defense. I just don't want to ride with it. Stevert, Kyron, Cup, and Rico for Gibbs, Ayuk, and Pittman. Love it, Steve. That's a great trade for you. Connor V, 3 big questions. Tyreek or Wicks? Wicks. Dak or AR-15? AR-15 if he's healthy. Moss or Sermon? Sermon. So it's Wicks, AR-15, and Sermon based on the matchups. Vince, Addison and Terry for Debo and Eckler. Season long, I'd rather have Addison and Terry. This week, I'd rather have Debo and Eckler. So if it's a question of players you need for this week, I'd rather have Debo and Eckler. Rest of season, I'd rather have Addison and Terry. Click, pick 3. Click, I'd go Garrett Wilson, Reed, and I'm going to go MHJ. Garrett Wilson, Reed, and MHJ would be the 3. MHJ's got a tough matchup, but I lean towards him just barely over Terry. It's close, though. New DK, trade Waddle for Higgins. Yep, I'm okay with that deal. N. Gavin, Jennings and Ramondre for ETN. I'm actually okay with that trade. N. Gavin, I would say yes, but that's really a statement about how low I am on Stevenson. Carlos Salinas, Hunter Stevenson, really tough question. I actually think Stevenson's got the better matchup. I'll lean Stevenson on that one. I'm not high on either one. Really tough. I think it may be a big passing game for Mahomes, but I'm on the fence. Alex, Dowdle and Hill for Ayuk and Mixon. Yes, Alex, do that deal. A.W. King, play Leggett, Wicks, or Downs. We talked about this a moment ago. Wicks has the higher floor. Downs has the higher ceiling. I lean towards Downs because I'd rather play the high floor than the high ceiling. But if you're in a position where you really need to take a gamble, go with a guy who could have a multiple touchdown game. I think Wicks has a greater chance to get 2 touchdowns. I think Downs has a greater chance to get you 8.5 fantasy points. I'll put it that way. Decayed Umbrella. I'd go Michael Pittman Jr. Decayed Umbrella, Michael Pittman Jr. Braden M, I'm 3-1. Would you trade Jacobs and Addison for JT? No, I would not do that deal. New Jersey Memes, Lazard or Mike Williams? I'm going to go Mike Williams just barely. Barack, start 1. I'm starting Wicks over Robinson. Eric Anderson, trade Waddle for Jamison Williams. Yeah, I'd rather have Jamison Williams right now, especially because the quarterback situation in Miami. But long term, it's close. Brian Thomas Jr. or Amari Cooper, both are going to perform well, but I'm saying Brian Thomas Jr. is a must-play. I'll take him. CT, Higgins, Allen, or Shaheed. Ooh, very tight, but I'll go Higgins. CT, I'll go Higgins. Luis Garcia, I'm going Sermon. Click, okay, pick 2. I'd go Eckler and Swift. Click, appreciate the question. Minus JSN or Wicks if Dobbs is out. Wicks if Dobbs is out. Dobbs is doubtful. Packers exchange knows Wicks would be the play. If Wicks is a wide receiver 1 or 2 this week, it changes a lot of the advice I did give. The advice I'm giving is based on the injury report news that we have right now. Sunday morning, you're going to want to tune in because we're going to know for sure. Wicks' value, I think, is going to increase over the next 48 hours. Less than that because of where we are. But that said, I do think Wicks' value is going to go up. Thoughts on Godwin? I'm still super high on him. I didn't expect him to have a monster game last night. I'm still very high on Godwin. I'd go Worthy over Leggett. Appreciate the question. Guys, it is 12-12 here. 12-11, about to be 12-12. Hate to break it off right now, but I am, because I got to get to bed. That said, I'm going to give out some more college football plays for tomorrow. So everyone listen up. We're going to empty the bucket when it comes to college football plays. Okay, everybody? I am taking Auburn to cover tomorrow. Auburn plus 24.5. Auburn plus 24.5. Georgia's going to win the football game. That's not what's in question. We know Georgia on the money line. That's not even a good bet. Georgia on the money line is a terrible bet. But Auburn plus 24.5, I think that's how the spread comes down. So that's making the big board. I also have Penn State up here as well. Penn State on the money line, kind of a bogus play. But if you want to put all of our money line plays for tomorrow's games together, it would be Army, NC State, Indiana, Michigan, Navy, Georgia, and Penn State if you were to do a money line parlay based on the picks that we have. Let me throw a few more MLB picks on the board as well. I have the Tigers covering tomorrow. I think Tigers plus 1.5 is a good play. I want to take Guardians on the money line just so you guys know. Tigers plus 1.5 is the better play. I lean in that direction. I think the Guardians probably win, but I'm not putting it up on the big board. Just want to make you aware of it. Let's throw another player prop bet on the big board. Another player prop bet. I'm taking Freddie Freeman over half a hit. Freddie Freeman over half a hit. And just to recap the player prop bets and the baseball picks that we have up on the board, the game picks are Tigers plus 1.5, Phillies on the money line, Yankees on the money line, Royals Yankees under 8.5, Padres plus 1.5, Padres Dodgers under 8.5, and then we have 4 player prop bets, 4 players we like to get a hit: Jose Iglesias, Juan Soto, Jose Ramirez, Freddie Freeman, and I'm going to add a 5th one. This is going to be a Detroit Tiger for you. I like Matt Vierling to get a hit as well. So we have 5 players to get a hit up on the big board. We have 6 MLB picks now up on the big board. And of course, we have our college football picks that we've been tracking all show long. I hope you guys have really enjoyed the content and the conversation. It has been awesome being with you this evening. You guys know I'll probably be on tomorrow. It's not a sure thing on Saturdays because those are always the day I've got the most things going on in my life outside of sports. That said, I will probably be on tomorrow. Think about 4:30, 5 o'clock in your afternoon if you're watching on the East Coast back in the States. But don't forget Sunday. We will be live for a 3-hour show on Sunday. 3-hour show answering all of your questions, giving out picks. So make sure you join us 10 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday. 10 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday for our regular 3-hour show. So make sure you join us. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time that we're live because we are here to help you guys out, give out information, hopefully give you guys good guidance on picks, on fantasy plays, and entertain you in the process. I am so grateful for your support every single day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being an awesome sports fan. Reminder, if you guys want all of my picks every day, I give away all of my sports picks for free. I do all of this research in my own time, and then I give away my picks for free. You can follow them, you can fade them. That's entirely up to you, but I give away my picks because that's what I should do. You guys shouldn't be paying for my picks. I love giving them away for free. That said, DM me on Instagram if you want all of those picks. Butt Fumble Sports. You heard that correct. The name of my company and the name of my handle is Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram to get every pick I make every single day for free. That's how you get access to that. Can't wait to talk some fantasy football with you guys tomorrow. We'll obviously check in on our college football picks, but we'll get you ready for NFL Sunday as part of our lead up to the rest of NFL Week 5. Hope you guys have a great night. Talk to you soon. Until then, goodbye everybody. Have a great night.